Right, here on the Overflow Show with me, Dannysun. It's great to have my next guest. We have a duo now. First up, we have Joey Oskys and Angie Macks. Welcome to the Overflow Show. Me, Danny. Good to have you both here.
Okay.
And you're both musicians. Obviously, Joey Oskys and Angie Macks, you have a new single out. Kind of going to throw it back to where it all began. How did you both meet?
Oh well, we actually met via because we're both in the industry. I was doing some vocal coaching, and Joey was working with some people, and some people put us in touch with each other. And over the course of time, we just stayed in touch with each other, and then we kept saying we'll have to do something together.
Yeah.
We'll have to do something together. The single is Joey's producing,
Yeah.
and vocals. And so, yeah, we sort of got talking, and then with the lockdown starting, and for me, I was out gigging a lot, and obviously all the gigs sort of stopped, and so I had lots of time on my hands. And once we was released and allowed to get out, we said, right, let's do something, and here we are.
Fair enough. And Joey, you were doing like the producing side, more behind the scenes.
I mean, generally, I mean, when I contacted Angie, again, it was through word of mouth, like through other people, like mutual friends on Facebook, etc. I was currently working with another artist at the time, and he drastically needed vocal lessons. Stuff and didn't listen to me. So I got in touch with Angie, and Angie kind of like guided me and actually spoke to him on the phone as well. But then it was a case like just us two like connected together because Angie told me what she was doing as well musically. And I'm always into a real decent female vocal. Generally, it's I love working with great vocals, especially on the female side.
Yeah.
And it just became a case of like, making time, and then through someone else, we ended up getting together in the studio and just doing what we're doing, and it's worked out a treat. It really has. The first song was amazing. I mean, I don't usually say this. I'm a music producer, I've got a lot of experience, but first time round, it's fantastic. And the EP, the songs that we're working on at the moment are great. The album's going to be even better. So it's just a case of like just getting it out there and just now letting people know who Angie is, a solo artist, a good artist. And progression from it.
Great stuff. So that's how you kind of both met. And who are your inspirations? I suppose producer-wise and musician-wise as well, both of you.
You want to start with Angie? Or you want to start with me?
Should we go with Angie first?
Go.
Do you know what? I have so many people that I look up to in the industry. There's so many talented vocalists out there, but I'm very old school as well. I like a bit of Aretha Franklin and old school sort of singers. I love a very edgy sort of voice, something with a little bit of harshness to it. So there's just hundreds and hundreds. I wouldn't even be able to pick. I don't know. I love a lot of genres of music, and I think that again that comes across when I'm singing because there's a little bit of sort of a ballady style, and then I have a little bit of a rock voice. It really depends on what sort of things we're writing as to how I sing it, because I've sort of got a lot of influences from a lot of different areas.
That's wonderful. And onto you, Joey, producers and musicians.
Oh, right, okay. I mean, George Martin has to be my hero generally because back in the day, compared to what we've got these days and technology, you never had that in like the 70s and 60s. Obviously, a great guy like George Martin produced the Beatles, doing what he did with other super acts alongside. It for me is an inspiration, in creating something small, and then it becomes a big thing, and it's just so simple. Inspiration musically, I mean, I am a guitarist by trade, and I'm not gonna.
He's an amazing guitarist. He's not blowing his own trumpet. He's amazing.
Do you know what it is, Dan? I don't want to be labelled as a rock guitarist. I don't want to be labelled as a blues guitarist. I am a guitarist, and that means I love picking up my Spanish guitar, my acoustic, my Les Paul, my baby, and my Gibson and my Strat. And just doing my thing. Funny enough saying that, I'm actually talking at the moment with Jack Moore, who's Gary Moore's son, to record a song together. So that's something that's going to be great. And this young lady, hope, is going to be in the vocals.
Wonderful.
So the blues world, mate, we're going to be rocking it. You know what I'm saying? So we've got that side of music, but as a music producer, I am all over the scope. So if I'm working with a vocal that suits a soul vocal track, or pop track, R&B, hip hop, whatever it is, it needs to work with the vocalist.
Yeah.
And the style of music. I really do. Programming beats, creating sounds, creating drums, creating pianos, creating synths, strings, etc. All that kind of thing. That's where I'm at.
Great.
Just to be versatile is key, really, isn't it?
As long as it's in the door, not the door, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's the whole.
So you're very versatile. Put it that way. Very versatile.
Yeah.
Many
that's
strings.
That's what she said last night. Yeah. Sorry, man.
That's okay.
That's not true.
No, I'm not talking about Angie.
And,
kicking myself a hole.
And we're going to move on to your song. It's called Fire. That's a very pyrotechnical song title, isn't it? Fire. What was the inspiration behind it? Was it recording during Bonfire Night, or was it a completely different?
No, actually, it's based on. Oh, where do we start? At the beginning of the year, I became single, and like I said, very much throughout my life, I'm very old school with a lot of things, a lot of moralistic things, and I like to go out, and if I'm going to meet someone, meet them outside. Yeah. However, that's not the way of the world at the moment, especially when we're during lockdown, and so it's very much online sort of thing. And you know, there was so many guys that are just generally players. And hence the song. And Fire is actually sort of standing for these guys that are players, and that you should just like stay away from them. Don't go near them.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what it symbolises.
Yeah, I see. Beware the players. Beware the players.
Beware the players. Yeah. They're out there.
Yeah, and future prospects. If this single does well, which I'm sure it will, you've got the EP coming up in the future, and you've told us a few things in the pipeline as well. Touch wood for you.
Thank you.
And what do you like doing when you're not doing music? Obviously, we talked about music. Are you into films at all when you get a chance? Do you like...
No, she really drives me mad over the next song on the phone for about 12 hours.
I really do. I think, to be fair, the reason that we bounce off each other so well is that the pair of us are 100 miles an hour on music all the time.
Yeah.
And... I mean, even when we're in the middle of doing one song, we all go off on a tangent and we come up with something for another song, and it's just 100 miles an hour. So, well, for me personally, I'm just completely music orientated. Yeah. You know, I do sometimes try and watch a film.
Yeah.
But especially if it's got songs in it. I mean, if it's got songs in it, it's great.
Yeah. You never know. You might do a score for a film in the future. You never know. Who knows? No. And as a musician, is music always on your mind? You know, sometimes food and even sex are on people's mind. Is music always on your mind? Are you constantly thinking about the next verse or chorus or line?
It's funny you should ask that. I literally, just before we come on, I was just saying to Joe that I tried to just have a little half an hour doze today, and a new song just popped in my head, and the lyrics just started coming where I was trying to sit. I was going, please don't do this. Let me just close my eyes. And no, it's just lyrics all the time, and you know, so yeah. So basically, I drive Joe mad, and Joe has to do the music for it.
Sure.
I love those songs, man. They're great.
Lovely, and you can't beat a good melody once it's in your head, can you?
That's it. Once it's there, it's there.
Yeah.
It's just got one of those vocals down where, you know, generally once she's got the melody down in her mind, it's really great to, like, you know, record it and work around it and build sound and record is done.
It must be annoying when you've got a catchy melody in your head and you forget it. That must irritate a musician, you know, when you got it in the head and then they lose it. Do you have to write it down or record it, like make a mental note of it and then put it down to paper or record it when you get like that hook?
It's quite often that I'll phone Joe at like 2 o'clock in the morning and go, listen to this.
Yeah.
I've got an idea. Like, I'm trying to sleep, leave me alone.
Yeah.
I'm driving him nuts, but yeah, I have to get it out of my head while I think of it.
Great stuff. Well, we had Joey, Oskys and Angie Macks. We're going to get you a new single on the show now. It's called Fire. Thanks for taking time to tell us more about yourselves and your collaboration as well. And best of luck with this one as well, just in time for Christmas as well.
Brilliant.
Oh, lovely.
Great stuff, guys.
Thanks, buddy. Lovely having you, man.
Yeah, great to have you on the show. All the best.
Hope you enjoy it. Bye.